you hear a bit of beeping in a minute, it's just my dryer. It's not something going on at your house. I've had that happen before. Have you ever had that happen before where you're listening to something through your earphones and you hear a beeping sound and it takes you 5 minutes to realize that it's not a beeping sound in your own house, but that it's a beeping sound in the house of the person who is recording the video? That's happened to me before. So it is my clothes dryer telling me that the dryer is done and it's time to go and fold the laundry, but that can wait because it's Monday and it's time for Flosstube. Holy cow, what a weekend. What a weekend. As you can see from the footage that I put in at the beginning of this video, I went to a Crash Test Dummies concert on Friday night with some friends of mine. I went with my friends Virtuti and Dawn and Joanne, and the four of us had the best time. We had the best time. It was so fun. And Ellen she's magical. She's magical. It was a wonderful evening and the band was fantastic and it was super fun. It's not often that I, get dressed on a Friday evening and leave my house. So totally worth it. And I'd do it again. It was really, really fun. Ellen is so famous and so popular that the lineup was really long to get to her. And the way that they had it set up in the hall where they were playing, it was a really narrow space where people just kind of, were shuffled along to get autographs from the band members, and then you sort of, would move along. So we waited in line and, we got there and Ellen and I were like, hey, and we exchanged bags quickly because I had some stuff for her, she had some stuff for me, and that was it because there wasn't enough room to take photo. I think you could go back. What they wanted you to do was go back and line up again to get photos taken. And I know that one day very soon we're gonna meet up in real life, and then we'll get some. We'll maybe even record some video together, which would be fun. So if she doesn't think I'm some kind of crazy stalker, though she did make me wife of the week, so I think that as wife of the week it's my privilege to record some video with Ellen. So that's a whole lot, and I haven't even introduced myself yet. My name's Caroline. Thanks for stopping by. I think I've had a fair number of new subscribers recently. Specifically quilters, which is amazing and so fun. I love it when I'll get a comment left from somebody and they'll say, I'm a quilter or I'm a knitter, and I stopped by, your show popped up in my feed and so I watched, and I used to cross stitch a long time ago and now I'm encouraged and inspired to go back and pull out those projects that I had from years ago. And welcome back, because isn't it fun? It's so fun. So it could be because of, I'm wondering if it's because of Stitch Roadies, because she's fantastic, and her other channel Quilt Roadies is quite popular, and so it's possible maybe that my videos are getting shunted onto the feed of her followers, so possibly that's why I'm getting some quilters joining in, and which I think is phenomenal. So, and I know where the knitters are coming from. You're coming over from the Fiber Friends podcast, and always happy to enable fellow crafters into returning to the joy of cross stitch, because ton of fun. Okay, let's start off with the giveaway, because every Monday I do a giveaway. It's called the Because Monday giveaway, because we could all use a little bit of something nice to look forward to on Monday. And sorry, just let me rearrange some stuff here. Last week's pattern that was up for giveaway was a John Clayton Elegance Miniatures pattern called Sophia. This lovely lady here. This was the chart up for giveaway. I had 68 comments on this posting. You can find the drawing for the weekly giveaway over on the Facebook group, Friday Off the Grid. You'll find a photograph of the weekly giveaway, weekly chart, and you can leave me a comment there to be entered for the draw. Okay, I had 68 comments and The random number generator chose comment number 5, which was Vicky Hobbs. So Vicky Hibbs. Congratulations, Vicky. You're the lucky winner of the Sophia chart. And I was really happy to see in your comment that this chart was actually on your list of stitchy wish charts that you were hoping from John Clayton to one day be able to stitch. So I'm thrilled to be able to send it to you. So if you can send me your address, message me your address, then I will get this in the mail to you. And thank you. Today's giveaway is a little bit different because today's giveaway has to do with the collaboration kit that I put out on Saturday with Michelle Garrett of Bendy Stitchy Designs. You all know her and love her. Bendy Stitchy and I put out an Alice collection, Alice in Wonderland. And her chart, number 21, Literary Alice. Here it is right here. Now, this chart right now is only available through purchasing the kit, the set that is for sale in my shop on Evertote. Other than that, this chart is not going to be released for general sale until it's released at market at the beginning of March. So it's kind of a special commodity. Now, I had a few people buy more than one set this weekend of the Alice collection. Now, because this is sold as a set, I have already paid Michelle for these patterns. The set comes as a set. It's a bag and a pattern, but some people decided they couldn't decide which one they wanted, so they bought more than one. And I had 2 people who said, I don't need the second chart. Please keep it and use it for giveaway. So guess what? I have 4 charts to give away. I have 4 charts to give away thanks to the people who said I could use them as giveaway. And I won't name any names because it's none of my business if you wanted more than one set. Thank you very much. So thank you to you, you know who you are, for allowing me to give away 4 extra special, super before released to the market patterns of Michelle Bendy Stitchy's Literary Alice. So I have 4 copies of this. And you do need to be a member of Friday Off the Grid Facebook group. I will put this listing up. And then next Monday, I will be choosing 4 comments from the people who leave me a comment on that. Actually, no, you know what? Let's spread this around. I'm going to put 2 of these I'll put up on the Facebook group, and 2 of them I'm going to put up in the YouTube comments below because not everybody's on Facebook. Normally I would spread it to Instagram as well, but let's keep it a little bit simple, more simple for me this week. 2 spots. 2 patterns will be given away here on YouTube. Leave me a comment below. The word of the day that I'll be looking for is Alice, and then I'll give away 2 other copies over on the Facebook group. These are PDF copies, and as soon as you win and I get your email address, I will send a copy to you. So that's 4 copies, 4 winners this week for the Because Monday giveaway. I think that's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Yeah, it was a crazy weekend. So much fun. So much fun. Okay, but I'll tell you more about that later. I have other stuff to share with you today. Works in progress. Did not have a lot of stitching time this week. I've been really busy doing a few other things. So I worked on my sock, my big gray sock for my father-in-law, and I worked on Amtrak. That's my most recent project in my 24-hour stitching rotation. I'll show you my progress on that in just a second because my big gray sock is getting awfully close to the toe. Look at that. So we recorded the Fiber Friends podcast on Friday, and I probably did half an inch, at least half an inch or 3/4 of an inch of knitting on the sock while we recorded that podcast. And then over the last couple of days, I've just picked it up to put a few more rounds in here and there while I was taking a sewing break. And so it is growing. I'm racing towards the toe. Almost a little bit further. My father-in-law has size 10.5 feet, but he likes his socks to be a little on the looser side. So I'm actually going to knit them until they fit John, and then they should fit his dad. If not, they'll fit John. Win-win. Okay, so that's my big gray sock progress. Coming along, slow and steady. Now, my Amtrak progress. I filmed a little extra video of that just because I didn't want to take it off the floor frame again. I'm finding that I'm starting to not strip the screws that are in the rods. I use it's a webbing and rod system that I use. So I based my fabric to the webbing that's on the rod, and then I have the ends that screw onto the rods that go in the frame. Great system, I love it. But I do tend to really crank those turns on the screws that are in the rods, and so after a number of years, those screws start to, you know, work their way out of the rod, and I'm always lazy at getting John to fix them for me because they're totally fixable. It's just that I'm always in a rush to keep stitching or work on the next project. So I will just take the screw out and I'll just replace the rod with a different rod. So I have a few rods that need fixing, and my Amtrak rods are starting to come out. So instead of retightening it and taking it out, I just left it on the thing, and I filmed a little clip of it still attached on the frame. So I'll insert that little video right here. Little bit of progress here to share. I put in about another 2 hours of stitching. So on my 24-hour rotation, I still have just under 5 hours left. So I'm hoping to finish up that 5 hours this week, but it's going to be a busy week. So fingers crossed. So since I last shared my progress, I completed this motif here and some of this in there, and of course that gray border there. That takes me, this is almost to the top of where I need to come across there for the next outside border. So moving along. So a little bit of progress, not a ton, but enough that I can see. Just over 2 hours worth of stitching since last Monday, so in a week. So that's really not a lot. I have less than 5 hours left on my rotation, so I really hope to, to get that done this week. And I've been thinking about where I wanted to go next. I've talked about it the last 2 weeks, but I still haven't gotten there, which my smaller projects, my Mill Hill special delivery bead stitching kit, and then the beaded Easter egg. February is going to be really, really busy, and I'm not sure I want to spend the rest of the month on those two projects, because really that's probably what will happen. My next 24-hour rotation, I suspect, is probably going to take the rest of the month. So I think I'm going to choose something else. But I don't want to not do something on, did I get my double negative right there? Because if I'd said I don't want to do nothing, I do want to do something. So I don't want to do nothing. So in that case, the double negative works. I don't want to do nothing. I want to do something. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 4 hours. 4 hours time on those smalls, which is going to give me some progress, but it's not going to then be like, oh, this is all I get to work on for the next however long for my fun stitching. So just 4 hours, and then while I'm doing those 4 hours, I'm going to think about what my next 24-hour rotation is. Then I'm kind of still sticking to the plan, so that'll work. And as always, I will be working on my big gray sock. So that's good. So yeah, that's it for crafting content for me, except for sewing, which I've been doing a lot of, and I have a lot more to do. So I'll tell you more about that in the little shop update that I'll do at the very, very end. because I have a couple other things to share with you today, because of Ellen and because of my friend Joanne. So we went to the concert, which I mentioned. We went to the concert on Friday night, and my friend Joanne is the, I've mentioned Joanne before. She is the one who made me the cat "It's You I Like" card that's right there. And she also made, which side is it on? Oh, it's right here. She makes these beautiful paper craft boxes, and the last two times, I don't want to say she brings them every time, because then I'm kind of putting her in a little box for the next Hamilton Stitch-In. But the last two Hamilton Stitch-Ins, she has bought these beautiful little handmade paper crafted boxes with a little chocolate tucked inside. And they're so beautiful. I have to keep them. So, you know, she's very clever, and she's so kind, and she's always so thoughtful. She brought Ellen something really special, but I'm gonna let Ellen share it with you, because it's not my thunder to steal. But she did bring the other three of us a special gift, and so I wanted to share it with you. She made us vinyl front project bags, just because she's Joanne. So look at mine. It's got mice and thimbles on the inside, and then the fabric on the back. She always finds the neatest fabric. It's actually got thread on it. Look. It's got skeins of floss on it and embroidery tools all over that fabric. That is so cool. I love it. So thank you, Joanne. I'm looking forward to putting something in my project bag. Now I needed to roll it gently to put it in my purse to bring it home, and you know, I was a little bit concerned about the vinyl, but she said, you know, don't worry about it. If it gets a crease in it or anything, just take a warm hair dryer to it. And apparently, so if you have a vinyl front bag and you've gotten a crease in it or something, apparently if you just take a gentle warm hair dryer to it, it will go right back into shape. I haven't had to try that because mine is fine. I rolled it carefully and it hasn't distorted it or anything. It's fine. So thank you, Joanne. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I mentioned that Ellen and I exchanged bags. You may remember that I had a Grammy bag for her, so I finally was able to gift her her Grammy bag, and she may have ordered another bagger. So, but again, that's her story to tell. So, but what I got from her, so long story, I'll try to make it long story short. Back before Christmas, on Ellen's Instagram page, and I'll try to remember to put a link to Ellen's Instagram page here, and she had posted, she was going home for Christmas. She's from Winnipeg, and she is friends with a couple who are, I think the husband is a potter and the wife is an artist. I mean, they're obviously, a potter is an artist. Do I have that right, Ellen? I'm not sure. My memory is bad. However, this is the Canvas Clay Gallery. She's besties with the Canvas Clay Gallery people. And the name of the potter is John Valentine. So I'm going to show you his card. Because if you haven't guessed yet, I wanted some pottery. When I saw what Ellen was posting, I'm like, oh, I really like that. And she said, well, I can bring some home for you if you'd like. And I said, oh yes, please, take my money. So I had a look at Mr. Valentine's website, and I chose a few things. Now, he is in Manitoba, and when I looked at the name of the town he's from, I'm hoping that's gonna, let's get that to focus there, come on. There we go. Okay, so I looked at the name of where he was from, and my inclination would be to pronounce that with a French accent, but I thought, well, it's not Quebec, it's Manitoba. So I double checked with Ellen, and yes, it is not what I thought it was. And how you say that is Beausejour. So from Beausejour, Manitoba, and it's John Valentine, potter extraordinaire. So let me show you. I bought 2 mugs because they reminded me of pottery that we used to have from John's parents that we got rid of a long time ago. And the reason we got rid of it was because we had like 5 sets of china, and this stuff was not handmade, the stuff that we had from them. It was kind of, you know, it was like dishes that everybody had in the 60s that was this color, because it's brown, and not because it's from the 60s it's brown, but you know what I mean, that sort of, that aesthetic of the mustard and green appliances and that kind of stuff. It was dishware from that sort of era, and we had a lot of it, and we had 5 other place settings because they had downsized, they were moving, and I had dishes, and we were kind of combining our households. Anyways, see, long story long, we got rid of it. So the color of these mugs reminded me of that set that we had, and I thought, I'd really like to have that color to remind me of that set, but also these are really beautiful handmade pottery mugs, and they're unique and they're beautiful. Oh, I just love them so much, and it's really amazing to me how different they are. Okay, so I'll show you. Here's the first one. Isn't it? I mean, look at how glossy it is and how pretty. And here's the second one. So you can see they're fraternal twins. This one's a little bit more rounded up here, and this one's a little more straight on the sides, but it has this kind of little bit of a lip here, and this one doesn't. They're just, I'm completely smitten with them. I love them. So these are going to the cottage with me to be my special cottage coffee mugs. And I also fell in love with a set of bowls that he had. There was a large one and a small one. I'm pretty sure this was the large one. It's just so gorgeous. If there are other pottery fans out there, you'll understand my absolute like glee. Look at this. It is beautiful. It is perfect. And I almost don't want to put anything in it. I just want to leave it there and stare at it like it's just a piece of pretty art, because it's just beautiful. I love it. And I know that Mr. Valentine will probably never see this, but I think that his work is phenomenal. I love it, and I am thrilled to bits with it. Thrilled to bits. I just think this is, I mean, I hope that it's picking up the color, because can you see it's just got this faint green lip around the top there, and it's stunning. I love it. I'm a huge pottery fan. I've been tempted to take classes. Anybody else out there? I know lots of you probably already have taken classes. I have been tempted, but I know myself a little too well, because the next step for me would be, you know, buying the kiln and, you know, setting up the, you know, I'm going to just do pottery forever and ever. And I cannot. So I have decided that I will never even try pottery, because I know I would fall hard and I would be all in, and that would be it. So instead, what I have decided to do is, when I see pottery that I love, I'm going to support the potter who makes it. So look at that. I'm absolutely thrilled. Now, because Ellen is Ellen, she saw something that he had that she thought of me, and so she bought it for me, and this was my Christmas present from Ellen. Look at this. Look at this beautiful mug. Recognize the tree? Looks an awful lot like the windy trees that we have up at the cottage. It is perfect. And I didn't think I could love anything more than these brown mugs, but I think this might, you know, no, they have equal place in my heart. And she even filled it with a selection of teas on the inside. And not only that, this, I laughed at this. Ellen's always got to try and make you laugh, and I think she succeeds. She tucked in, because we are Canadian, a Canadian pin, and I'm not sure you can see, but it says sorry on it. And that is, that's pretty, that's us. Sorry. Oh, love it. She also tucked in a container of very swanky hot chocolate and a beautiful Crash Test Dummies hat for John that she said he could wear while he's cleaning out the septic system or something like that at the cottage. So I think that I might wear that hat because, well, I like a good baseball hat. Okay, so I showed you my beautiful pottery, and I shared what I'm working on and my bag from Joanne. We had such a good time on Friday night. Ellen, thank you again. It was so fun, so fun. And you know, if you're listening to this and you've never heard the Crash Test Dummies, I highly recommend purchasing their album because they're just really a great band. There's a reason why 25 years after they're big, you know, after they hit it really big, people still love them. And the reason for that is, you know, just great songwriting, great artistry, really talented musicianship, and just fun, just really fun. So love their music, and I think you will too. So, and again, that's Ellen from Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour, in case that wasn't clear. If you haven't watched her yet, that's who I'm talking about. In her alternate life, she is a Canadian rock star, and I'm super proud to call her a friend. So very cool, very cool. All right, that's all I had for today for stitching and other kind of crafty newsy bits. Just a really super quick shop update. Holy Toledo, this weekend was amazing. It was like, I've never launched a collection and had it sell so fast, ever, in 2.5 years. It is over 3/4 sold out. I have a few bags left, very limited quantities. I have the pink fabric is completely gone. The blue, the one I thought was black and white is actually navy and white, is almost gone. I have only, I think I have, if there's any left in the shop, there's only like one left, maybe two. The Tea Party processional fabric, the medium ones are gone. I only have one large flat left. I think I have 3 or 4 of the wedge tote style left. And the coral fabric, I only have one, maybe, I have 1 of the medium, 2 of the large flat, and I think I have still 5 of the wedge totes left in that fabric. And that's it. That's it. The rest of it is, the rest of it sold. And it was a little surreal because, you know, trying to run the business in the past when I've listed collections, it's not that you can ever predict what's going to happen, but you know, you kind of try to base it off of what happened the last time with how quickly things sold as to how long things will take me to do the work. And this sold a heck of a lot faster than I was expecting. And it's a wonderful problem to have, and I am so grateful to you all who went and purchased a set. I'm off to work to get those sets out. So normally what I would do is, you know, and I'm still doing this, the orders that came in first, I send them out in order of when the order came in. Normally it's by day, so you know, Mondays and Tuesdays orders will go out, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays. Well, now we're talking about all the orders came in, the bulk of the orders came in within about 12 hours. So even though you might have ordered it on the first day, you still might be, it still might take me a couple of weeks to get to your order. So it's not like ordering a Millennium frame. It's not gonna take me that long. I'm not as popular as, you know, the people who make those Millennium frames, but it is going to take me a little bit of extra time to get all of these bags out. The other thing that I had mentioned was that the clock charms for the first 50 bags, that's these ones. My friend Lisa has helped me track down a different seller with those charms, because where I normally buy my charms, I had bought them all. I had taken them all, and they didn't have any left. But she's helped me find another supplier that has them. So after I'm done recording this video today, I'm gonna go and order some more so that all of the bags can have the same really wonderful charm, because they kind of belong together, don't they? So hopefully those won't take too long to come in. They shouldn't, but all things being equal. So I am really going to try my best to have everything done in about 2.5 weeks. It might be closer to 3. So I really appreciate your patience. The first box of orders will be going out on Thursday, and then what I might do is try to send out a box on Thursday, next Monday, next Thursday, and then we'll see where we're at then with the orders after that. So how amazing, and I can't thank you enough. Really, it was a ton of fun. I love these bags. I love the pattern. I loved working with Michelle, and I'm glad that clearly you all did as well. And it was really kind of freaked me out a little bit at first, because I certainly was not expecting the response that happened, and it was great. So thank you. One thing I forgot, I'm just gonna pop this in here really quick because I forgot. I had asked a question last week about the tapestry and the stitching, and thank you to everyone who left me a comment last week on the diagonal stitching, the basket weave stitching. And even Ellen weighed in on that. She said, you know, basket weave, it's a better way to do it because it doesn't distort the fabric, and you know, lots of people were talking about different ways to do it. And I don't love basket weave stitch. And here's where my frugality comes into play, because the basket weave stitch takes a lot of extra wool. And I am frugal at nature, by nature. So I've always preferred just to, you know, take the path of least resistance. And my tension is fairly even. And so people are saying, oh, basket weave is the best way to do it. Also, if you're making a chair cushion, the basket weave stitch provides an excellent padding cushion on the back, which is what you want when it's for a seat cushion. It's also going to wear a lot better. It's going to provide a little bit more cushion and also extra durability. So it's a good thing to do if you're turning these into seat cushions. I'm not, though. I'm planning on framing them for my wall. And I don't like doing basket stitch because of the aforementioned usage of extra wool. So I was kind of thinking, well, you know, it's great, and I'm taking all of these suggestions, but I am, and my husband would attest to this, I am stubborn when it comes to, I will ask for your opinion, but do I really want your opinion? I don't know. I still want to do what I want to do, but I want to listen to reasons why. But then I got a comment. I'm going off my memory, and I believe it was from Thistle Stitcher, and I'm going to double check that, and I will edit in if I'm wrong. Thistle Stitcher. She left me a comment, and let me see if I took a picture of it, because if I did, I'm going to read it to you. Let me see. I so wish my mother, who is 89 this year, could remember more about the beautiful pieces she stitched. What I remember, however, is that she stitched hers entirely in hand. They would curl up sometimes, look like a distorted curly catastrophe, so it was amazing to see how, once blocked and finished, they were perfectly square. My dad called it, once the magic happens. I do know that she did stitch side to side from left to right. She would start at the far left side and stitch across the entire piece, as you would when reading, and then flip the entire canvas upside down and continue the next row directly underneath, and again stitch along from left to right to the bottom of the row. She just kept flipping it right side up, then upside down until completion at the bottom edge on the lower right side. I don't know why she did that or if there was a reason, but her work was so beautiful. My dad would be the one to stretch her pieces, and it always seemed to me like he was wrestling an alligator to block them, but he did it with the utmost care not to be harsh with her work. He was her biggest fan and proudly showed off all that she did. I am so in love with that comment and the vision of your parents in this sort of joint endeavor and him being so proud of her. And I love that. So, but there's information in there that I think is key. And your mother, I think, was a smart cookie, and I think her brain may have worked a little bit like mine. She liked doing it back. She liked doing it side to side, just like I do. But the whole flipping it from top to bottom, so that you're always stitching from left to right, and then you turn it upside down and then you're still left to right. Think about it. Your tension's going to be exactly the same because you're always stitching the same way. You're not then switching and going like this. You're always doing the same motion across the canvas. Her tension would have been exactly the same. Even though it was in hand, she was always stitching it the same way. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch it from left to right the way that I like to do it. However, I'm going to take a tip from your mom, and I am going to flip it each time I do the next row so that I'm always stitching from left to right. And thank you so much, because that, I think, is it wouldn't have occurred to me to flip it upside down, because the other canvases I've done, I have just done left to right and then back again. But sometimes those are smaller, you know, if you're stitching characters and things like that, the fox or the leaf, I would just go left to right and then back again. So, but for this, when it's fill in and it's long rows of the same thing, I think it's crucial to do it the same way so that the tension matches. I thought that was a great comment. All of the comments were amazing. Really. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And this is exactly why I asked, because there's always a gem in there. There's always something, a different way to think of something when you just ask. And so even though I was looking for something to match my opinion in a certain way, this still made me think about it a little bit differently, like a little light bulb. So I love that. Love it. Fantastic. Okay, that really is it for me today. I'm off, and I will see you on Friday for Friday Off the Grid. Take care and happy stitching.